Hello, everyone, and welcome to our podcast. Today we have a special guest, James, who will be sharing his experience on how he found his first job. Congratulations on your first job, James.
Thank you. I actually started looking for my first job in the last year of university.
And what did you study in university?
I studied programming. I actually live on campus and have a full scholarship. I knew that if I didn't find a job, I wouldn't be able to stay in Moscow any longer.
Ah, I've heard that Moscow is a great city to live in.
Yes, it's wonderful. The people and culture are amazing. That's why I decided I didn't want to go back to my small town after graduating.
So, did you manage to find a job in your last year of uni?
Yes, I started sending out my resume to different companies and eventually got invited for an interview.
Which company was that?
It was Gazprom, the biggest energy company in Russia. They needed a programmer.
Ah, I've heard of Gazprom. So, what happened during your first interview?
It was quite funny, actually. We were in the middle of the interview when the fire alarm went off. We all had to evacuate the building, but the interview continued even outside on the street.
That must have been a unique experience. Did you get called back for a second interview?
Yes, I was called back for a technical interview, and I passed it.
That's great to hear. So, how did you feel when you received the job offer from Gazprom?
I was over the moon. It was a dream come true to work for such a prestigious company. I couldn't believe my luck.
And how has your experience been working at Gazprom so far?
Well, actually, I'm no longer working at Gazprom. But back when I was, it just so happened that the month I took the job, 2 employees who were supposed to be helping me and from whom I was supposed to learn quit. I had to understand how the 3 services of the company were organized, myself, and also to solve the problems with which I was approached. Sometimes I had to stay up till the night to solve the problem.
Wow, that sounds like a challenging experience. How did you manage to handle all of that pressure?
I knew that I had no choice. By the time I started working, I was getting a salary that allowed me to live in Moscow and rent an apartment. I didn't have any savings, so if I quit my job, I would have trouble paying for housing and would probably have to figure something out, maybe even leave Moscow.
But couldn't you have found a job online even if you lived in Moscow and then come back to your hometown?
Yes, I did consider that option, but I really didn't want to leave Moscow. I love the city and the opportunities it offers. Plus, it's not ideal to leave a job without working there for at least half a year. The next employer may have questions for you.
That's true. It's always best to stay at a job for a reasonable amount of time to gain experience. Well, it sounds like you made the right decision for yourself.
Well, after working at Gazprom for 8 months, I decided to quit. One of the reasons was the salary. I wanted to find another job with a higher pay. Fortunately, I had saved up some money, so I could afford to rent my apartment for 7 months in a row without a job. After quitting, I didn't immediately start looking for another job. I wanted to take some time to relax before jumping into something else.
Did you start to search for another job after your break?
I started searching for jobs that had the highest paycheck and that I could do with my experience. Surprisingly, I found not only programming jobs but also sales jobs.
Wow, why didn't you just look for another job with a higher salary in the same field?
After my first job, I realized that I didn't really enjoy any type of work. The only thing that kept me going was the money, so I figured the more money I could make, the better. I didn't really care what kind of work it was. That's what I learned from my first job, and that's why I started searching for something different.
It sounds like you gained some valuable insights from your experience at Gazprom. How did you transition from programming to sales?
Well, I did some research and found that sales jobs often offer higher pay and have a lot of growth potential. I also realized that my communication skills were one of my strengths, so I thought I could excel in a sales role.
That's a smart move. How did you find your first sales job?
I applied to several companies online and eventually landed a sales position at a tech startup in Moscow. It was a completely different environment from Gazprom, but I enjoyed the fast-paced nature of the job.
That's great to hear. How has your experience been in sales compared to programming?
Well, to be honest, I quit my sales job after just 2 weeks. It turns out that the pressure and constant need to meet sales targets just wasn't for me. I realized that my true passion lies in programming, so I decided to continue my search for a programming position.
So, how did your job search for a programming position go after leaving the sales job?
I started applying to different tech companies. After a few weeks of searching, I received an offer from a medtech company in Moscow. It was a perfect fit for me, and I couldn't be happier with my decision to transition back to programming.
James, it's great to hear about your journey and how you found your passion in programming. Can you tell us if the salary at your current job has increased since you started working there?
Absolutely. The increase in salary was a big motivator for me. I actually doubled my salary when I transitioned from my sales job back to programming. It's been almost 11 months now that I've been working at this medtech company, and I am grateful for the financial stability it has provided me. However, I am considering looking for another job with an even higher salary.
James, it's fascinating to hear about your career journey and how you have navigated through different industries to find what truly makes you happy. Can you tell us, what do you want from this programming job at the medtech company?
Honestly, I'm not entirely sure what I want in the long term. Right now, my main goal is to earn the highest paycheck possible. I have set a target of starting with a salary of at least $6,000. Additionally, I also want to maintain a healthy work-life balance. That's my focus for now.
Thank you for sharing that with us, James. It's important to set goals and priorities for yourself, and it seems like you have a clear vision of what you want at this moment. We appreciate you being on the podcast and sharing your experiences with us. Thank you, James.
I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss out on future English learning content. Stay positive, keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.